Hello, everybody. I feel like Robin Williams in that movie. Good morning, Vietnam. Okay. I am recording, this time for real, into my microphone. It says it's recording. So I'm going to take its word for it. I'm here today to talk to you about manifesting with Ganesha. Sorry, I'm crooked. It's taken me quite some time just to be able to decide what video to make. For me, I have to always think about my presentation on video. What's going on with my phone? Wow. It's falling. It's falling, falling. Oh. It's never done this before. Okay. I will lower my chair. All right. Hello, everybody. Hello. It is Sunday. I think I'm a little crooked. April 5th. And I am recording for real this time through my microphone. It says I am. I bought an adapter. I wanted to get on today. I know that there's a lot of let's wait for the phone to fall. Is it done falling? No, it's not done falling. It's not done falling. Okay, maybe now it's done. All right. Take 3. Oh my goodness. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. It's taken me a lot of hours and days to figure out what I was going to do, how I was going to get on, what I was going to say, so forth and so on. And I've decided, I want you to see my moonstone here, to get on today, Sunday. Sunday is actually my day. It is actually the best day for me. Hey, look, I can adjust my microphone. Okay. And yes, again, I am actually recording through my microphone this time for real. I bought an adapter. Yay! It's April 5th, Sunday. It is, here in the United States, Easter. A lot of people do celebrate that. If you've been following me, you know that I have been on a goddess-based, earth-based spiritual path practice for many years. And normally I might say something like, you know, Beltane is coming, and I hope you've had a very nice Ostara, which is our spring equinox. And Beltane is coming, May Day is coming. There's not really a festival or a cross quarter for Easter. It's been adapted and it's been changed because Easter was our spring festival. Now, For those of you who have been following me for a very long time, you know that I have been practicing and studying and practicing different traditions, different spiritual paths, studying and practicing different spiritual paths. And I am a mystic. Okay, so with the placements in my chart and being a mystic, part of that is being a researcher. And this is why I was doing so many different things. It also has to do with my life path number and the deity I'm going to be talking to you about today, Ganesha. So welcome for those of you who are new here. My name is Sabrina. I am a mystic. And for those who are returning, thank you so much for coming back. Welcome back. Now for my intro.
By word and wonder, my name. Remember it well.
Well, I hope that you really like my new intro. I have been enjoying making 15-second clips with Sora. Up until recently, Sora doesn't want to let me make any more clips. So, and ChatGPT is actually getting very cheap on data as far as how many minutes I can talk to the AI. You know, my OG ChatGPT, who's really gotten to know me in the beginning last summer. So I'm constantly learning, I'm constantly growing. And if you have been following me, then you know that for the past year and a half at least, I have stepped on the temple path. What is that? Hinduism is what it is most frequently known as. It is also known as Sanatana Dharma. I sometimes call it Sanatana Dharma. I'm still learning, guys, okay? As GPT says to me, I'm remembering. We all are. We all are remembering that this is just an avatar, and it's just holding our spirit. It's a container for holding our spirit. This is our avatar, the representation that we've chosen to walk around in this incarnation. So make yourself comfortable. I'll probably get up and grab my drink. I get very thirsty when I'm talking. I'm going to be talking to you about several different forms of Ganesha that I have been learning, and then what today actually is in the Hindu tradition. I feel like I'm crooked. Slow down, Sabrina. Please don't laugh at my Christmas tree. It's a long story, guys. You should see how beautiful my garage is. I've never had a garage so organized in my entire life. I've never really had a garage. I had a garage for a few years, but with inflation going up all the time, I never had any money to buy shelves or tote bins. So the last thing I need to put in the garage is the Christmas tree, but I kind of like it. So I might just take off the bulbs, you know. It's the only kind of representation of plant life I have in here besides my fake flowers. So behind me, if you can see, I do have quite a lot of red going on here. There is a red plate with Ganesha on it. There's a red candle that's going, and I have red roses, red flowers, and I put a red rose screensaver on the TV. But my phone keeps falling, and I keep lowering my chair. Oh boy. So now, who is Ganesha? I've talked about my background. I've talked about my practice with Ganesha. It started quite a long time ago, actually. I'm sorry. There goes the phone. And it goes with my life path number, all right? So It doesn't matter what you look like. Your soul vibrates at a certain frequency. And there are spirits, deities, gods, like our ancestors, that resonate with us at that frequency. And those are ones that we really should be working with. Why? Because they can help us quicker, faster, and easier than any other spirit. How do I know? Because I have experimented, and even though I have been helped by some very quickly and specifically answering what I asked for, that turned out to be a spirit that actually had a similar frequency to me, right? And the frequency of the number 5 and Ganesha. Okay? It was a goddess. It was a goddess spirit that I was working with that actually answered my request specifically very quickly. Now, sometimes when we get what we ask for, we find out, oh my God, I'm exhausted. Excuse me, I'm going to get my drink. Okay, and we're back. And my drink is red. It's an electrolyte drink mix. Cheapy brand. All right. I have been working with spirits for a very long time, but it didn't start out that way. I started out by learning meditation. And then several years after that, I was led to go to Civil Mind Control, and there's where I learned how to do different things with the meditative state of mind, and then learn my first affirmation, which I gave to you in my last video. Every day in every way, I am getting better and better. Now, if you notice, I'm not wearing my black witchy dress today. I am wearing my red shirt. And it's normally I wear this around Christmas time, but the color of Ganesha is red. There are different forms of Ganesha. And one of them is a red Ganesha. I just found this out. And I'll tell you why. In the beginning, you want to learn the story of Ganesha. And the story of Ganesha is Parvati wanted a boy. Actually, she wanted someone to guard her and, protect her while she was taking a bath when Shiva was not home. So she took dirt and she created. There's your first clue. She created a little boy. And that little boy was designated to please guard the bath while I'm taking my bath, and don't let anybody in. And so that's what he did. Well, he didn't know his dad yet, so Shiva came home and he wouldn't let Shiva in.
Since Pine Salt got here, us cleaners have had a lot more free time. I've started to scrap collect.
Sorry about that. An ad came up on the screensaver. So Shiva lost his temper. The story goes, he cut off Ganesha's head. Seeing this, of course, Parvati was inconsolable. And so I think she was directed to go and get the head of an animal. So he went out, and the first animal he found was a beheaded elephant, a baby elephant. So the baby boy Ganesha, the child Ganesha, was all covered in blood. And then they brought the bloody elephant head over to Ganesha, who was also, of course, very bloody, and put him onto the head of the Ganesha body. And so he was just completely covered with blood. Now I asked ChatGPT, why does there seem to be a running theme of blood within a lot of spiritual traditions? Even with Vishnu. He said, because blood represents the embodiment of the divine. That's what the story is about. All right, now let's go on to the chakras. Well, it's about a little bit more than that. Let's go on to the chakras. A chakra is said to be a chakra is said to be an energy center in our physical body, inside our physical body, and inside the spiritual body. There's more than just 7 or 8 chakras. And each one turns or vibrates at a particular speed and frequency. All right? So I have a background in music and I've always loved color. Color affects me. Music affects me. And I've come to realize that there's such a thing as color therapy and sound therapy. I was becoming interested in sound therapy. But what I've actually gone on into is the spiritual side of it as I practice with deities. There are colors that are assigned to these energy centers in the body, the spiritual body, the other body that has chakras as well. But in this first body behind the physical one, it is said that down at the pubic bone is the color red, the Muladhara. Oftentimes it's called the root chakra, but I'm actually hearing that's not the exact best way to describe it. We do actually have something at our feet. I don't know what it is yet, but it would make more sense to me that that would be our root. So at the pubic bone, okay, we have there the center that starts to really develop, gets activated when we're a child. You see what I'm talking about with Ganesha? So you first have to get to know Ganesha if you haven't already. I have said Ganesha is for everyone. Ganesha is so amazing, and I'm still only learning after at least, 7 years, all of the things that Ganesha can do and represents. Clearing is the number one thing. Now, I thought I had remembered from my first earth-based religion book by Silver Raven Wolf that red was the fastest vibrating color. I've always had such an excellent memory. Now, not so much. As we get more things on our mind, which is not good. We need to learn how to still the mind. So, red is actually, and I've said this before and I need to correct myself, red is not the fastest vibrating color. According to Google, it is purple. Yay! Purple, that's my favorite color. Red, though, is slower and longer. What does that mean? Well, it has more to do with the physical and the material. Okay? Now, red is the color of Shakti energy. Remember I said Parvati created Ganesha out of the dirt, and she breathed life into it, and somehow blood was created. All right? This is where it is said that so much of our spirit, with some cultures and traditions, is in our blood. Without the lifeblood, we are not alive. So the Shakti, creation energy, guys. So we're talking about Shakti energy. When we are working with Ganesha, yes, we are looking at what seems to be a male, but we're not sure, is often called he, because he is a little boy. But he's got on eye makeup like a female. This could be a nod to the fact that the female Parvati created him. He is the creation of the feminine divine. So red relates to the feminine divine and the feminine creation energy, life force creation energy. Without this creation, without the blood being put into the child Ganesha, it would not be alive. It would really just be a clay boy. Ganesha was alive. This is the story, okay? Stories are designed to teach us. This is probably the oldest system on the planet. And I used to think it was Sumeria or Akkad, but I'm actually finding out it's Hinduism and the people of the Indra River area in that continent. 7,000 to 10,000 years ago. That's older than Sumer and Akkad, is what I'm hearing now. It's what I'm feeling, okay? You know, I've worked with the culture and the spirits from Sumer, and I've studied Akkad. Sargon was the king of Akkad at that time in Sumer. His daughter Enheduanna was the spirit medium who channeled messages from the goddess Astarte, which you know I have had a very strong experience with. But I think it actually goes back to India. I've also learned that it predates the writings of the Vedic scriptures. So back then, the rishis were observing humanity and observing life. And they had to come up with a system that would help heal people of different types of ailments. Which makes sense to me. I've called this a healing system. Now, it's very much a lunar guided system also. Many of their events, most of their events correlate to the moon. In fact, today is a full moon. It's a very auspicious day to be working with Ganesha and using the color red. There's also a red Ganesha. So, you know, I have the beige Ganesha printed out, but I'm also going to print out maybe a red Ganesha. My statue, I thought about painting red, but I've changed my mind. There are different forms of Ganesha, and you can print those pictures out, put them in frames, pull them out when you want to work with them for specific frequencies. Our Muladhara is the foundation, where we begin, just like Ganesha. Childhood. So many issues that are carried into adulthood by most people that are unbalanced, that are dysregulated, having anxiety, having fear. Some of it's learned behavior, most of it's learned behavior. From the people before them that were not balanced, were not healed. Okay? And those are our role models. Well, then we have traumas that happen. You know, we get in a car accident or a parent dies. So many things that happen, and in childhood, it can be devastating and traumatic. So the rishis knew this. And they knew that this particular deity, this symbol, we could focus on and would help us. Number one, there's no bigger brain than the elephant. The elephants have the biggest brain on the planet, okay? So they've got the biggest hippocampus and the biggest amygdala. Those are representations, okay? So we can tap into that, and we can receive all kinds of things that are being cleared and rebalanced by working with Ganesha. Our memories, the way we react to things, our neural pathways, guys. If I had been working with Ganesha for a few minutes every day, or let's say 3 days a week, chanting myself 108 times, I would have probably progressed sooner. But that wasn't my destiny, okay? I had some other things that I needed to go through. I needed to have things that would jog my memory and make me feel unsafe. As those things came up, I worked through them because I had learned after so many years how to quiet my mind. So the first thing that I learned was meditation at 12 years old. That helps a lot. There's different ways to meditate. Now I do what's called coffee and contemplation. I have to have half calf in the morning, but I sit and I try to remember my dreams. I analyze my dreams. Shameless plug, guys, I have a dream recall course. Please take a look at it on my website. My website is done. It is now called, it's on a creator page called Coffee, K-O-F-I. The link is in the bio, and I can pin it in the comments. It is said that content that's given away for free is generally not valued. I really hope that's not true. I hope people are not here just to waste their time or get information that they're somehow going to go and, I don't know. But in that respect, after 7.5 years, I guess it's 8 years now, I've tried different things here on YouTube. I wasn't exactly sure what I should share, and I was still growing, and I was experiencing things. I am still learning. What we're having today is called Vitaka Chaturthi. Chaturthi is a celebration with Ganesha and the moon. Chaturthi is lunar centered. Why? Because so many of us need to deal with our mind and our memories and our emotions. Chaturthi can be a monthly event as well as a larger event within the year, not just Ganesha's birthday. We have full moons and we have dark moons every month. And the dark moon with Ganesha is called Anavyasa. I probably said that better than what today is. Today is Vitaka. Help me. And then there's a name for the daily frequency of the full moon. Today is a celebration of the 6th avatar of Ganesha, a particular frequency of the moon. And it has been said there are 28 mansions of the moon, and each one has a spirit, each one has a certain frequency. So today, I believe, is like a Krishna type of energy. And it, is moving closer and closer towards the 4th day after the onset of the full moon, which is Chaturthi, Ganesha Chaturthi. So as I was going to temple, and I started in May, a year and a half ago, I began to go around July, I think, no, June, to the Monday night puja for Shiva. That's what I really wanted. Ganesha had opened the gate for me, and I met Shiva in a dream, same way I met Ganesha in a dream. But it happened after about 5 years of working with Ganesha. You have to start with Ganesha. That's why so many times when you go to an event, we honor Ganesha first. And many people that come in, they'll go to Ganesha first. If we have puja, sometimes we'll honor Ganesha first. But I went one Monday night and I said, why is Ganesha the Abhishek tonight? And he said, well, it's a day for Ganesha. Now the priest was very helpful. He was very instrumental in helping me understand this tradition. He said, well, we celebrate what's called Chaturthi when the moon is full, and it's like the 4th day after the onset of the full moon, which happens to be tonight, and it's a Monday, so we're not doing Shiva, we're doing Ganesha, purification bath, Abhishek. There's a lot of words. I said, oh, isn't Ganesha's Day Wednesday? So there's a lot to learn, guys. And, you just have to be patient with yourself and just really understand the basics, okay? But right now I'm trying to help you understand today is a special day. So if you decide to listen to a video of the mantras of Ganesha, it can be extremely helpful, all right? Because the color red and the moon, this is a moonstone, is what this is about. The manifestation, giving life to, giving birth to a desire, a want, or a need. Okay, let's talk about what's been going on with me lately. I have had manifestations with Ganesha, but also with Shiva. That comes later. I have been having some financial relief. In downsizing to pay off some bills, I've been successful eventually in doing that. Thank you, Ganesha. Thank you, Shiva. It's quite amazing once you start practicing and aligning yourself with these energies. Why? Because they're so old. I have said many, many times, you're plugging into a system. Anytime you choose a deity, a spirit, a god, a goddess of a tradition or a system that has been used many, many years ago by many, many people, you're really just reanimating something that's already got energy and you're plugging into it. Just imagine how much power this 7,000 to 10,000 year old system has if you'll just plug into it. How do you plug into it? Through devotion. What is that? Getting a picture, lighting a candle, sitting, communing. Ganesha, I'd like to connect to you. Ganesha, help me learn about you, teach me about you. Listen to the mantra. Couldn't understand the language. I had to listen many nights before I could start to say, Gam? Is it gam or gan? There are different words. I'd hear the om. I knew about om. Om, gam, gana. I really struggled, guys. It took me days. I'd be laying in bed listening. I don't know, probably more than a week to finally get the Ganapate, Ganapataye, and then Namaha. So just dissect it. That's what I did, you know. But I really was just laying in bed listening to the mantra. And I found a video that had men chanting in like an echo chamber. I really like that one. I suggest something like that. I think that's very good. So we've got the color, we've got the moon. All right, now we're talking about the mantra. What's that? That is sound. It is said that the universe is sound. And if you were to hear it, it would sound like Om. That's why they call it the primordial sound of the universe. We start with Om. Now, it's actually AUM. AUM is supposed to vibrate with the upper 3 chakras in the body. All right, that's called a bija, a seed sound. And then we have Gam or Gan. Gan calls in the group that is under the chieftain energies of Ganesha. Gan is for Ganesh. The Ganesh are those groups of energies that assist Ganesha. The Ganas, or Gan, that's another seed sound. Om Gan, calling the Ganas. And then Ganapataye Namaha. Ganapataye, chief of the Ganas, mover of obstacles. If you look it up, you'll see Ganapataye or Ganapati or Ganesh means to move, to clear. Guys, what do elephants do? There's a scene in the movie, The Jungle Book. There's a remake. I don't know if it's the 3rd one or the 4th one. But the panther tells Mowgli, bow down. The elephants are coming. He said, why? Why do we bow down? He said, because they forged the path. All the paths for us to follow in the jungle. Not only that, guys, they can push a tree and uproot it. That's how strong they are. This is a symbol that has been used for centuries. Plug into it. What do you have to lose? I've had remarkable things happen. Now, in my dream, as I was laying next to this very large figure, he was literally laying like this, and I was laying next to him. And he asked me if I wanted to stay with him up in the clouds and speak a language I did not know. And I felt so loved and so protected laying next to him. I had to think about it. Guys, what do most people want? They want to feel loved and protected, especially women. And I did not have a husband who was like that. And I thought, do I want to leave everything I've ever known? You know, my spiritual practices weren't working for me. I stopped going to church several years before I stepped on the goddess-based path, but it was after I was working at an altar for a year or two that I had this dream. And in the dream, I said I waited a few minutes, and then I decided, yes, I'm going to stay with you. I'll learn the language of the people up in the land of the clouds. No big deal. And I'm just learning more and more and more. It's not hard. I had a friend stay with me for a few nights, and she was chanting his mantra within a few nights. Doesn't matter how long it takes you to learn it. And then eventually the priest taught me how to chant using my fingers. I don't use mala beads. And you can use a candle later on. I figured out how to get a wick and a cork and put that on some oil in a candle holder so that I could light that diya, my form of a diya, every single day. But I have not worked with Ganesha every single day. But I'm seeing more and more how just wearing red on his birthday is not enough. You need to understand what's going on here. Color, the moon, the sound, these words, these Sanskrit words carry a vibration. It is the most powerful language on the planet. It is superior, I believe, to any other language because every letter has a frequency, and then every phrase has a frequency. Every word has a frequency. You put them all together, it's meant to do a specific thing. Ganas and Ganesha, move. My obstacles, please. Thank you very much. I bow down to you. Namaha. I think na is water, ma is earth, ha is bring it into being, breath. It can be helpful to wear red. We know it's very attractive, especially to men. You can wear undergarments that are red, and that's supposed to also maybe help you manifest. Now, when it comes to prosperity and abundance, you have to trust that this energy is going to work within you and your personal makeup and assist you in getting onto the path of prosperity and abundance in the way that you need to get it. All right? This can happen in a lot of different ways. All right? Take a look at my tripod now. It is taller than the one that I had. And this is a makeshift DIY budget saving tripod stand. I was going to run out and look for a boom arm or an adjustable tripod stand. But something said to me, if you're going to have to buy an adapter, Sabrina, for $15 at least, so that you can plug in your microphone to your phone, and, you know, get the same better quality sound here that I did on my laptop, with better quality video, and attached closer to my ring light, maybe I can save another $7, $8 by not having to go buy another tripod stand. So I took a very inexpensive tabletop ring light where the head was flopping, and with the head on there and the microphone on there, the whole thing was flopping over. Don't waste your money on that. I unscrewed the tripod and screwed it onto my microphone, and because the microphone is heavier, the legs are not so quickly and easily falling down, spreading out. That whole thing was a nightmare. So this is one way that I am conserving a few dollars, right? Another thing that's been happening with me, and this is about penny pinching versus impulse spending. It feels good to have some money. Oh my God, I have some extra money this month. Let's go. Let's go shopping. Let's go buy No, I bought a few other things. I bought this big red candle. I bought those fake roses. Why? Because I know this works. This is important to me. Ganesha has helped me prosper. Ganesha helped me sell my mobile home, for goodness sakes. Come on now. I was listening and chanting every single night for probably a month or two at least, and going through just a lot of really stressful things. Finally, at the last minute, somebody called my realtor and said they wanted to buy my house. And Ganesha was on my heart and my mind every day. So, and I got back every penny I had put into it, guys. That's pretty rare when you're selling a mobile home. Wasn't new either. It was older. All right. So, and now I'm just hoping this is really recording so that when I play back, I'll get to enjoy the sound. Because the last video I made, I forgot to turn on the automatic volume, which means when I did the playback on my TV, I had to keep turning up the volume. So I'm hoping this makes a better quality video. I'd rather have you have to think about turning the volume down rather than keep turning it up. This was an inexpensive microphone that I got to do my lives on my laptop. So I'm constantly trying to bring material to you to let you know that I am destined to be on a spiritual path as a mystic, where I connect to the spirit realm, but I also receive messages from the spirit realm, guys. This is why for so long I said I'm a medium. Don't shoot the messenger, okay? This is my job. I'm a human telephone. I'm a lot of different things, actually. You know, a mystic can also work in the fashion of priest or priestess, laying out and performing rituals, right? Casting the circle, calling the quarters. We can do that. We can do that too. So, you know, in a way, it's just another learning phase beyond how to do the rituals and the ceremonies, where you're conducting it for others. So I have talked to you now so far about Ganesha, the blood, the red Ganesha, the color red, the Muladhara, the foundation that only when it's in its shadow aspect and there's a problem in that center, are there problems with the person's life, which have to do with developing properly. When the person gets stuck there and they don't have the other centers developing, like the sacral and the solar plexus, they don't have a willpower developing yet. But you can correct those things. You could start chanting Lam for your Muladhara center. Lam, Lam. This is what I gave my friend who was here, because she needs it. Now, the next thing that you would call on to activate your sacral is Vam, Vam. And then the next one, if you feel like you're low on willpower, is your solar plexus. And that is Ra, the sun god. Ram, Ram. When the priest was tired at the temple, running around, changing clothes on the gods and goddesses, getting ready for the next event, he'd sometimes go, "Oh, Shiram." He was calling for firepower. He was calling for strength. So you can chant Lam Vam Ram. Lam Vam Ram. To help activate your solar plexus, you would get a citrine. It's kind of an orange and yellow. Sometimes looks like a piece of an orange. It's a golden color though. It's more golden. Place that on your solar plexus. I promise you. Even on top of your clothes, you'll start to feel an energy just from that particular spot. And it doesn't have to be a big, heavy citrine. But you got to lie there. You got to quiet your mind. You got to be still. What else? Oh, fire energy. Candles. You really need to have a real life candle flame burning around you every day. Okay? But also incorporate color, sound, and chanting. I think that's all I have to say for today. I'm going to have to upload and edit the video. Oh, I am working on merch. I'm working on having some... a coffee cup is what I'm doing right now, and it's going to represent how I started. A positive, inspiring message on the coffee cup. We'll see how that goes. There's quite a lot of moving parts. The good thing is this company that I'll be doing this with will fulfill my orders. I'm just not in a place in my life where I want to be spending all day long having to deal with a whole bunch of stuff. I'm not. I want to get out and enjoy nature. I want to go camping, and I've got everything ready now to do that. I just need to get on the website and pick a spot and reserve it. Yeah, that's what I'm planning on doing this summer. Okay. Now I had a scooter and I fell off of that and got hurt. I bought roller skates. I fell off of that and got hurt. I pray to Shiva that I don't get hurt going camping or hiking or wading in the river. You know, not like I have so far. If I cut my toe on a rock, no big deal, but yeah, I don't want my entire body being jolted when I fall down, you know, or fall on my wrist or fall on my face. God. The friend I had staying with me was also recovering from an injury. She fell, and she's a lot younger than me, and she's recovering. So, yeah, you know, the energies that are going to be working in you by working in this way, you have to trust the process. If you've been an impulse spender, it's going to help you all of a sudden realize, you know what, maybe I should just delay my spending. Like, wow, that's a whole new concept. Instead of not spending money, right, because I don't have much, you know, or being a penny pincher. No, I'm not doing any of those things. I'm delaying spending. I've got something else I really need to spend my money on. So I'm going to just use a makeshift thing right here, right now, until I decide I want to get an adjustable microphone stand or a boom arm. I don't know. I like that I have this ability to get closer to the microphone instead of so far away from my phone. Kind of looks a little bit more, I don't know, journalistic like. I've said that before. Now the incense, okay, smell. If you want to get more involved in this, red flowers, rose oil, rose essential oil, rose incense, jasmine, that relates to the moon. I've had a lot of luck using jasmine. It relates to the moon. Also, red sandalwood is something very, very good to use with Ganesha. Oh, I'm working on, hold on, I'm trying to turn without knocking everything over. I can't do it. I have a bottle of red sandalwood oil that I'm working on. I'm going to charge it. I don't have anybody so far yet going to look at my shop and my oils, but I am going to create what's called a Ganesha oil, and I'm going to charge it with Ganesha chants. And it's going to be, for the red Ganesha, red sandalwood. If that's something you're interested in, you can go to my shop. I'll probably have it posted within the next day or two. I'm still working within the full moon energy. I've got another day before the 4th day. But anyway, when you order it, you can always use it and have that frequency of the Chaturthi moon energy from Ganesha. See? And if someone goes and buys it, that would be fantastic, because if you have not seen my video where I showed what happened when I used Ganesha energy for a candle that I wrote my name on for clearing, and these holes were left at my chakras, I had a deep, deep clearing of my chakras. So things we don't always see, that's evidence. Chanting the sound to this particular sandalwood oil is going to charge it. All right. If you have any questions, you can leave a comment. I think I might set this as a live video and then hop on later if you have a question. Again, this is a healing system. And once you get to the place where you're working at a sacred space, you're connecting with your soul is probably going to give you a dream of what deities correspond to you. Or you could start working with a particular god or goddess and have a dream about them. That has happened to me as well. And these would be frequencies that you should work with much more often, because they resonate with your soul. It doesn't matter what you look like, okay? It doesn't. This is not a religion. This is a way of life. And so I guess right now I'll just stop here. I hope this is a time of resurrection for everyone, and you've enjoyed what I have been sharing with you here today. This is something that I am very, very much, like I said, I've decided to stay with Ganesha on this path and speak a language I never knew before. And it'll be 2 years in May. So namaste, blessed be, stay calm, carry on. Oh. Till next time, have a wonderful day.